right now.
And we want to get right to the radar tonight. Much of the activity east of San Antonio tonight, but there are some big storms out there.
Yeah, we have been monitoring the area where a tornado hit near Swiss Alp, Texas, and other areas causing some flooding. We have a crew just south of the tornado touchdown. This is in Hallettsville in Lavaca County.
Yeah, the area is still experiencing rain, but we're going to begin our team coverage with meteorologist Adam Caskey.
And we did have that confirmed touchdown north of Lavaca County, just south of the city of LaGrange in Fayette County earlier this evening. Lavaca County had a tornado warning in and around the Shiner and Hallettsville area. Now, the main activity is all pushed far east of San Antonio and mostly, generally speaking, out of the KSAT 12 viewing area, out of our area. It is lit up, though. You take a look at the lightning and just a ton of lightning strikes associated with it. Now the severe weather is moving into the Houston area. Around here, we just have these lingering downpours. Some parts of our area, DeWitt County, down toward Goliad, Victoria counties, and southeastern Lavaca County. Additionally, we have these flash flood warnings in and around Lavaca County, parts of Gonzales County, and even stretching southward into DeWitt County. These last, some of them, until after midnight due to the extreme and heavy rainfall that we've seen with those severe thunderstorms when they moved through. So again, the activity wrapping up around San Antonio, no threat until the pre-dawn hours tomorrow when we could see another round of storms develop. We're going to talk more about that, how it could affect the commute, the primary threats with it, along with how much rain fell and where coming up, Steve.
Thank you, Adam. We're going to continue our team coverage now in Lavaca County, specifically Hallettsville, where emergency crews are encouraging people to stay off the roads tonight.
Yeah, this is south of the area where there were strong winds and a potential tornado touchdown. The night team's Japhanie Gray is in Hallettsville tonight.
Yes, that's right, guys. We actually drove through the entire town, and the roads are wet, definitely. We rode past a few first responders. Of course, they're out and about just monitoring the situation and, again, making sure people are staying safe. Again, as Adam mentioned, there are flash flood warnings for parts of Lavaca County. It's been sprinkling so far and raining, but the biggest thing that's been happening since we've been here is the lightning. There is a light show going on right now, so of course we're staying safe in that regards. Again, people, if you're out and about, they're encouraging you to stay off the roads, and if you do come to a high water area, turn around, don't drown.
All right, Japhanie Gray reporting live for us tonight in Hallettsville. Thank you, Japhanie. Here at home, the high winds overnight and early this morning leading to this. A tree fell onto a truck of a home on the city's southeast side. This is near Southside Lions Park. This viewer sent in 2 pictures showing the destruction left behind. We also had viewers send in what they witnessed when rain moved through the area earlier today. This video sent to us from a store in New Braunfels. Some hail and rain managed to get in there. Employees had to lock the automatic doors from opening as customers waited out the weather inside.
Now we move to Boerne. It's an area that's being described as Flash Flood Alley, at least part of it, and the community continues to quickly grow. Well, the city is working on a master drainage plan for Boerne, and funding is now starting to be set to pay for the fix. The night team's Patty Santos shows us what the problem looks like.
Ask Boerne residents what happens when it rains hard.
Whenever there's flooding, I usually go a certain way. If I want to go to school or I want to go to a friend's house, there's always a certain path I take.
But sometimes you just can't avoid it.
Today I got stuck going to work in San Antonio, so I turned around and came back. Old San Antonio Road, which was flooded, Herf, which was flooded. River was okay, but then when I turned up Plant, it was backed up pretty good.
Some people have dubbed the city of Boerne as Flash Flood Alley.
We get those big rain events. When that happens, we have a lot of water come down very quickly.
Roads become creeks and neighborhood streets are sometimes impassable. Just a small example of a much bigger concern Boerne city leaders have.
We have other areas that when we look at an actual 100-year or a 1% chance flood event to happen, that we could potentially have some structures that might get water in them.
A plan is in motion to protect homes and keep roads clear for emergency vehicles in the event of a major flood. Boerne has hired a consultant to gather data and come up with a list of projects to tackle first, and soon there will be money to pay for it. In 2019, City Council approved a new stormwater drainage utility fee that took effect in January. It'll bring about $600,000 a year. An average household will pay about $4 a bill.
That money can only be used for fixing stormwater problems.
The city hopes to have a list of projects by the end of the year and a few improvements done in about 2 to 3 years. In Boerne, Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
And take a look at what one KSAT viewer caught on camera. This image also coming to us out of Boerne. As rain rolled in earlier today, one viewer was able to capture this lightning strike and then share it with us. We are expected to have an active weather pattern throughout the week, and you can share your pictures safely with us by going to ksat.com/pins. Well, a major change as CPS Energy faces issues from February's winter storm. The utility's chief financial officer is planning to end his 16-year tenure by retiring at the end of June. CPS officials confirmed the update this evening. Gary Gold's departure comes as the utility continues to try to reduce more than $1 billion in bills from February's winter storm. As recently as late last month, Gold and his staff estimated the storm's financial impact to be more than $1 billion. CPS Energy says this transition was planned, saying in part, quote, Gold will remain with the utility through June 30th, serving as Chief Business Excellence Officer to ensure a smooth transition and knowledge transfer while advising leadership on key initiatives, end quote.
Governor Greg Abbott making another move when it comes to masks. The new executive order threatening a fine up to $1,000 to local governments and officials who want to require masks. While the CDC has said fully vaccinated people don't need to wear a mask, they still recommend masks for those who have not had the COVID-19 vaccine. And starting on Friday, Governor Abbott's executive order will prohibit government entities from requiring mask wearing or face a fine. Public schools will be allowed to follow mask wearing guidelines through June 4th, but after that, masks will not be required on campus. Hospitals, jails, and state-supported living centers are exempt from the order. Businesses can still require employees and customers to wear a mask. Concerns growing tonight, a community shaken after one of their neighbors was shot outside his home. It happened just before 10 last night. 24 hours later, the gunman remains on the run. The Night Team's Japhanie Gray went back to that neighborhood today and spoke with people who say they're fed up with gun violence.
When I put in my driveway, I seen cops on this side, and I was like, boy, well, they're blocking the street. Something happened.
Terrified by last night's shooting at the intersection of Tabor Avenue and West South Cross Boulevard, neighbors who asked not to be identified recounted what they saw happen.
I'm in the kitchen. I'm cooking for my husband.
That's when this neighbor, who also is the victim's landlord, says she heard loud gunfire and saw a bullet go through her window. San Antonio police say the victim was pulling out of his driveway in this white truck when a suspect drove up, got out, and shot multiple rounds at him, hitting him several times. He was taken to BAMC in critical condition, his passenger uninjured. Neighbors identified the victim as Roberto Lopez. They say they don't know why he was targeted. He would go back and forth from his construction job.
I'm praying for him to live, because, I mean, it is ugly. I mean, especially you come home and work. I mean, there's no point of getting hurt like that.
With the shooter still at large, neighbors are concerned.
I have 3 kids of my own. Sometimes we're outside, we're playing, but I mean, it's scary nowadays. I mean, nowadays you can't even be out and enjoy your day.
I don't listen that you know, ¿cómo se?
She's never experienced something like this. So right now, now she's just all paranoid, scared.
Japhanie Gray, KSAT 12 News.
San Antonio police say they do not know of a motive at this time. They also do not have any suspects at this time. But if you have any information that can help with the investigation, you're urged to call the homicide unit. That number 210-207-7635.
New developments in a rash of robberies in area pharmacies. Tonight, we're learning the cases stretch beyond Seguin. Pleasanton police also confirming zip ties were used to tie up their victims in a similar case. Surveillance video shows a man getting a cup of coffee from a gas station near the Center Pharmacy in Pleasanton. Police there released the video saying they believe he is one of two armed men who stole narcotics from the Center Pharmacy back on Halloween. Investigators also noted a woman visited the pharmacy weeks before asking about the particular narcotics. Police believe the same two men and a woman were involved in an armed robbery at a pharmacy in Seguin back in December. Investigators say the suspects also used zip ties. That pharmacy was targeted again just a few weeks ago. In the most recent case, police say one of the men acted alone. If you can help in the case, call the Guadalupe County Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen, 1-877-403-TIPS. There may be more cases. Pleasanton police say they've also been in contact with the Luling Police Department.
It's still ahead on the Nightbeat. A contract ending the future for foster care in Bexar County now called into question. The defenders taking a look at what could be expected for our area's most vulnerable children.
And we continue to monitor radar tonight. What San Antonio can expect for the rest of the week. It's coming up.
Bexar County's foster care system plunged deeper into turmoil after confirmation last week that Family Tapestry had moved to terminate its contract with the state of Texas. The commitment to carry out community-based care here collapsing less than 3 years after it was put in place. The Night Team's Dylan Collier on an even rockier road ahead for the region's most vulnerable kids.
Cheryl Friedberg proudly wears the label of foster parent, which has made the recent revelations about the Children's Shelter and Family Tapestry, its wing designated to carry out the privatization of foster care in Bexar County, all the more troubling.
The concern in the foster parent community is that this is the organization responsible for these children who are in a really tumultuous time in their life.
Forced by the state to remove all of its kids from its emergency shelter late last month, shelter president and CEO Annette Rodriguez provided state officials a 16-point action plan on how she would right the ship. Then 72 hours later, had an apparent change of heart and canceled the community-based care contract, ending the relationship 33 months after it began.
It's sad that children who are seeking protection, the state is removing them to protect them, are winding up in situations that can cause them more harm.
A shelter spokeswoman refused to make Rodriguez available for an interview, claiming they are focused on the seamless transition of shifting foster care responsibilities back to the state. Rodriguez also did not respond to allegations made by a former staff member at the shelter, who says this child with a fractured ankle was forced to walk around last year with a broken cast after the shelter failed to follow up on his medical care.
We are in the midst of an ongoing capacity crisis.
The Texas legislature appears like it's next up to try to address the ongoing foster care emergency, hearing testimony recently on a flurry of bills, including one that would create another state office, which would assist with implementing community-based care. But even state lawmakers concede they are caught between trying to simplify Texas foster care while at the same time hearing bills that do the opposite.
It's a major cultural change and really a challenge from a transition standpoint.
The only people that are getting hurt right now are the kids, and we all are here to help these kids.
For the defenders, Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
As part of the requirements to end its contract with the state, Family Tapestry had to give 60 days notice, meaning Child Protective Services could be back in charge of foster child placement by the end of June.
Well, turning now to weather, it has been a very wet and active day in our area as we take a look at the situation right now downtown where things have cooled and calmed down a bit.
It's been interesting to watch this storm because it is not, I mean, if anything, it looks like it's gaining strength. It's not losing strength as it moves east.
Yeah, it's really not weakening much as it heads east toward Houston. And we did have, of course, the one confirmed tornado just south of LaGrange, a tornado warning. So Doppler radar indicated near Shiner and Hallettsville. And actually, take a look at this. This is posted by one of our KSAT Connect and KSAT 12 viewers here, and this is in Hallettsville, a little building picked up by what could have been a tornado. We still would need confirmation from the National Weather Service. They'd have to do a storm survey to determine that. And look at this. This is in Cuero, Texas, good 3 inches in that rain gauge. Now, speaking of rainfall, this is just since midnight tonight, and you see the sweet spots for rain south of town, and especially east. We're talking Gonzales County, parts of Guadalupe County, Lavaca County, and even along the northern tier of Bexar County. We had some good accumulations. And what's important about this, the northern tier of Bexar County, is that it's the recharge zone for the aquifer. So this is really good for the aquifer. Stone Oak, 1.33 inches, Boerne, 2.33. And you look elsewhere and we had some even higher amounts. So this is just south of Seguin. The Diamond Half Ranch, nearly 6 inches of rain measured in the rain gauge there. Gonzales, 2.29 inches, Hallettsville, 2.04, and Moulton, just under 5 inches of rain, and even Beeville, just under an inch. Ongoing flash flood warnings are these bright green colors here east of town, most of them till about midnight or a little thereafter. But the rest of us in the dark green counties, including San Antonio, are under the flash flood watch all the way through 1 p.m. on Thursday because we are expecting more activity to be developing and moving our way. Currently, it's a light show along the coastal bend and especially moving into Houston right now. That's where they have the severe weather. And for some of our far southeastern fringe counties that are watching right now, Victoria, Goliad, DeWitt, southern Lavaca, it's starting to wrap up for you as well. Still a lot of lightning and thunder out there, but it's momentarily going to come to an end. Now we're watching some development in Mexico and even parts of Webb County there, as that's our focal point here for the next several hours. We're going to be watching right along the Rio Grande, as we could have more development there that would then even impact the morning commute here in San Antonio. Here's one of our Futurecast models, and it does show that activity developing and really forming into another complex of storms that would then affect us by the morning commute tomorrow. And the first part of the day on your Wednesday could bring some soaking rain and some areas of flash flooding. I do think it's likely we'll see a complex of storms develop. I just wouldn't really hang my hat on the fact that it's going to be exactly in the placement that you see here by this computer model. It could really end up going anywhere. So anticipate in the morning commute, we could have some issues out there across South Texas where the rain does set up. It's going to be heavy in nature. And then this pattern is going to be off and on for the next several days because this upper level low is just going to linger into Friday and even the upcoming weekend. So our storm chances are up and down here, but tomorrow they're at 60% for about the first part of the day. Friday, 40%, the weekend back up to 60%. Those are the peaks in terms of our rain and storm chances. Doesn't mean it's going to be rain all day those days. It's just we anticipate the most numerous showers and storms on those days. Right now, for the most part, 60s to near 70. Temperatures not changing much overnight. 68 in the morning. Upper 70s to near 80 by the afternoon. Highest rain chances the first part of the day tomorrow. And then Thursday, we'll have, I think, a little break in the action. Then we start to see it ramp up a little bit Friday into the weekend. And the weekend, I think the primary threat would again be flash flooding because we're saturated and we could have some pretty heavy downpours at that point.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
All right. It's a win or go home time for the Spurs.
It'll be interesting to see how the young players, specifically the Spurs young players, play in a play-in game where you have to win to continue. When we come back, we'll talk to the Spurs about that. And the Mission staged their first home game since April of 2019 when we come back. Our San Antonio Spurs got into practice for the first time in the second half of the season before boarding their charter for Memphis, where they'll face the Grizzlies for the fourth time this season in a win-or-go-home play-in game tomorrow night. After finishing 10th in the Western Conference standings in the regular season, the Spurs are 4-point underdogs on the road tomorrow at the FedEx Forum to see if they can continue their season. Spurs beat the Grizzlies in their season opener 131-119, but in February lost back-to-back home games to the Grizzlies, including their second worst home defeat by 31 points. The Spurs will be facing a team that has a lot of young players as well, midway through their own rebuild. It includes Ja Morant, that has never been to the playoffs. How do the Spurs feel about having their backs against the wall tomorrow night? And just about everyone used the same word.
I would say it's pretty exciting, to say the least. This is a situation that I've never been in. And on top of that, we're trying to make the playoffs. So I'm starving, I'm hungry, I'm excited, and I'm ready to play with my team and get a dub.
It's exciting. It's a chance to to one chance closer to get opportunity to make the playoffs. So, win or go home games it's easily said and done. It's you win and you move on, or you lose or you go home. So I think the guys are excited from the practice we had today. And, we just got to go out there tomorrow, compete, and try to get a win.
Rudy Gay's game has improved dramatically during the stretch run because, as he puts it, he had to play desperate just like tomorrow since this is a winner-go-home game. But tomorrow could also be the last game of Rudy Gay's career in silver and black since whenever the season comes to a close, Rudy is without a contract since his 2-year deal that paid him $32 million total comes to an end. Rudy was asked today how much does that enter into his mind during a week like this?
Definitely, I've thought about it once or twice.
Yeah.
But, we still have work to do, so I wouldn't think that far ahead.
The Memphis Grizzlies finished the regular season in 9th in the Western Conference after losing to Golden State Warriors, who finished 8th and will next face the Lakers in the play-in tournament. In that loss, Steph Curry went off for 46 points in the 113-101 victory, seizing the scoring title again. For the Grizzlies, Jonas Valanciunas led Memphis with 29. The Grizzlies come into this play-in game with a 2-1 record against the Spurs, winning both games in San Antonio with dominating victories, 129-112, 133-102 in February. That was without Jaren Jackson, who missed most of the season after tearing his meniscus in his left knee during the play-in, the bubble. Now he's back. So what does Jonas feel the Grizzlies are facing tomorrow against the Spurs?
They're a good team. They changed, some guys rotated, but they're a good team. They're playing hard. They're a young team, hard playing, as I said. It's going to be tough matchup for us, but we're going to come ready and play hard. 48
it is. All right, Spurs are up first tomorrow at 6:30. The winner of that game between the Spurs and the Grizzlies play the loser of the Warriors and the Lakers. Former Spurs player, coaching intern, and front office executive Monty Williams has been voted as the National Basketball Coaches Association Coach of the Year. All 30 coaches in the NBA vote on the Michael H. Goldberg Award, named after the former executive director of the NBCA, which honors a coach who helps guide his players to a higher level of his performance. Monty has certainly done that after inheriting a team that went 19-63 just 2 years ago, finished with the second worst record in the league. This year, he's guided the Phoenix Suns to second in the Western Conference, improving by 17 games this season in the shortened 72-game schedule. The Mission's first home game since 2019 next. Christina Camacho has been named the new head girls basketball coach at Judson High School. She replaces Treva Corrales, who retired from coaching to become the school district's new athletic director after Mike Miller decided to retire. Tina comes to Judson High School from Veterans Memorial, where she led the Patriots to the state finals twice in Class 4A and 5A, and now is able to stay in the district as the new coach of the Rockets.
I know there's a lot of pressure that's going to be, expected. But I just I like doing new things that are going to challenge me, and rather than retire and just not do anything, I keep saying I love what I do, and I love this community. I love Judson ISD.
The Mission's hosting their first home game since 2019, opening up against the Frisco Rough Riders in a 6-game series tonight. Second inning, Mission's Juan Fernandez blasts this into left. Looks like this one will get out of here, but Frisco's Josh Stowers makes a leaping grab for the out, but comes crashing down into the wall. Shaken up, need a little help in leaving the field. Fifth inning, Mission's pitcher Caleb Bushley gets the strikeout. He threw 5 innings of no-hit baseball. The no-hitter continued into the 7th for the Missions until it's broken up right here by Diosbel Arias with a single to short right. Still in the 7th, Frisco with runners at 3rd and 2nd. Missions Henry gets a wild pitch, and that allows the one to score, and that is the only run to score, and the Missions fall 1-0 in their home opener in since April 2019. Because remember, all that season was lost last year due to the COVID pandemic. In fact, all the minor league games were lost last year due to that.
It's good to have the Missions back.
Great to see them back.
Thanks, Craig.
We'll be right back.
Lit up storms are far east and southeast of San Antonio, closer to the Gulf Coast and especially the Houston area. But what we're watching is a little more development that's farther to the west and even in parts of Mexico. This is the area we really have to watch along the Rio Grande later tonight and into the very early morning hours tomorrow, as that could develop into another complex that could then hit us for the first part of the day tomorrow. So that may be affecting your morning commute. I say maybe because this is such an erratic atmosphere. These things pop up, come and go, and they move directions all the time. Otherwise, flash flooding the primary concern the next few days.
GMSA at 6:30 in the morning.
Good night.
Actually,